PNM family? PNM family? Let them hear us all the way in San Fernando. Let them hear us in Granny. Let Duke hear us in Roxborough. He can't remember where to go. Good night. I want to start by welcoming my colleagues, the Member of Parliament for Port of Spain South, MP Keith Scotland. A woman I love who's come down from the east, who light them up last night on the platform, MP Lisa Morris Julian, our Minister in the Ministry of Education. We know her as Mother. All you know Mother? Yeah. Mother from Port of Spain South, our matriarch in Port of Spain, leading us to victory in Port of Spain, Miss Marlene McDonald. To the Chairman of Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West, Chinua Allen, Port of Spain South, Wendell Stevens. To all of our 12 winning candidates. And most importantly, to you, the residents of Port of Spain, and my PNM family, and those who will come out to vote us back in on the 14th of August. Good night. And they tell me other people watching. So all who watching, we hear, we read, we ready, and it is spoken word that on the 14th of August, all your deposit lost and the PNM back in the council. I sat there tonight as a proud citizen. And you know why? Because I saw the best that this country has to offer come up on stage before me. I saw what our Deputy Mayor Helen Morian spoke about, that Eric Williams education has given us here tonight. I saw here tonight what our forefathers saw as a vision for Trinidad and Tobago, with Alicia Gift as a former serving member of our Defense Force. Abina Hartley speaking there with love. Our educated women who are here lining up to return to the Port of Spain Corporation on the 14th of August. I see them sitting there, all of them who I've worked with before. Port of Spain North and the women in Port of Spain South. I've seen the young men come forward. I was on the screening committee of the party in 2016 when your Clint Batiste walked into that room. And I want to thank you all here tonight for giving us Clint Batiste. Because we saw that young man grow. I remember him, a little bashful, in the screening committee at Balize House. Walk into that intimidating room upstairs and face the screening committee. And what I saw here tonight makes me proud to be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, but more so as a member of the PNM family. So as Helen told us tonight, do not put God out of our thoughts and have a short memory. Because as Ms. Beryl told them, and all of our elders who are here tonight and who have been here with us for decades, they will remind us, the younger people, of what a PNM government has done. Because right here, this is PNM government. And I can tell you all now, in the last 10 years, as difficult as it was, we have continued to deliver. And I want to remind you all of something. Because as you've heard all of the speakers before me talk, they have a lot of false pretenders now coming to Port of Spain. We heard all sorts of things about what they're doing. But I want to remind you all, because you see, people have forgotten. When COVID hit us in 2020 from left field, and not a person in the world, because it hit the world, not a person in the world could have predicted how COVID was going to affect our lives. That is the most recent, difficult, hard times we have faced. And I want to ask all of you all here in Harpe, all of you all in Shafford, all up Quarry, all along Observatory, all the way down by Abina, by Jamil, and everywhere in Port of Spain, but the rest of the country, remind ourselves in March 2020 when we started to face this deadly virus that was killing people all over the world and that killed millions all over the world. Who was it that found ways to help our vulnerable people right here in Port of Spain? It was the PNM. At the time, I didn't see some of those people who now claim they could do better than us. Because you see, we forget too quickly in those difficult times, right there from the office behind, distributed by your councillors throughout Port of Spain, with thousands of hampers and food baskets to help our people. And we don't discriminate, you know. That is also a beautiful thing about a PNM government and a PNM party in power. We recognize that everybody deserves. So we don't say, well, you are yellow belly, well, you are blue belly, and you are confused criminal wanted in the United States. We help everybody. And that is a PNM way because we do everything based on principle and policy. As I look around here, and I know our people in Harpe, I know our people in Shafford, our people up Quarry, and all of East Port of Spain, down in Port of Spain South. When I speak into Mother, and Mother telling me about what's going on, and Keith Scotland who came in after, and Keith telling me what's going on, and Lisa telling me what's going on in the East. One thing I know is every PNM representative, whether you put them in council, in corporation, or in parliament, does fight for the people. And all we face is resistance. I want you all to understand that it is in difficult times you see who really cares. It is in times when all of us as your representatives, even the older men, dip into our own pockets to help as best as we can. It is at times like that when people couldn't get masks. We took the initiative and we said, all the people who have lost work and you could sew masks, come and sew masks and we pay for it. So don't forget the difficult times of COVID, when we had the grants, when we had the things that we could do. We are one of the only countries in the world that managed to have a parallel healthcare system to look after our people here. And I could tell you all, every single day and night, several times, I was in contact with our leader, the Prime Minister, the Minister of Health, and the health team as we were taking the difficult decisions to fight for the lives of our people. And at no point in time did we discriminate. And remember in the election of August 2020, what it is the UNC was doing. In the middle of a pandemic, killing people left and right, we can't see a vaccine because the rich people in the world were taking all of the vaccines. They took us to court every single week, challenging everything we were doing to protect your lives. Those same people there. So when we have to listen to them now with their hypocrisy and their lies, that is what does grind me and irritate me. They have one of them there now that feel he is a national leader all of a sudden. Well, I want to remind you all right here in the Harpe, in Shafford, in Observatory, East Port of Spain, Belmont, and down by Scotland, in South Port of Spain. You all remember what happened in Sealots to some of our children in Sealots? There are proper ways to do things. There are proper ways to treat human beings. Actions speak louder than words. I will never forget, as your Minister of National Security, your representative right here in Port of Spain North, and as a citizen of this country, seeing some of our young citizens with their face down on Stony Beach and how they were being treated. You all remember that? You remember when some of our young people were swimming, because it was against the law, but swimming in the sea in Cocorite, how they were treated there? And then you remember a few days later, how those in their bikinis and bathing suits at the pool were untouchables. And you remember when our leader and Prime Minister had a problem with that, and he said how to deal with it. the disrespect that was handed down. Don't take God out of your thoughts and now be fooled by these people. And you know what I find most insulting? That they have another one of them there. And exactly as Abina said before, Clint said before, Hilla and Alicia, and you all know how they look at us. First, he start walking around with hops bread and a piece of bread as though we are hungry people. Yes, we all want better. Yes, we all want better. But you think you could come down in lots and just hand out bread? You think you could go up on the hill and just hand out bread? What do you think we are? But I want to remind you all, because all of a sudden, you forget where you're elected. You forget where you are elected. So let me just remind you all of a little history of that individual. It started off in something called the Public Service Association, the PSA. And I wish Jennifer was here tonight. We had two Jennifers in the PNM who could tell you all about how that organization was destroyed practically under the leadership of that man. They have not had an election since. So take note of that, because you see, it's actions. Actions speak louder than words. How a person handles an organization and people is what you need to take note of. So that destroyed. You then decide, I'm jumping into politics. You're going and form party in Tobago. Great. Because one thing the PNM afraid is any party. You will hear our leaders tell us is about 60-something parties the PNM beat and lose their deposit in the history of this country since 56. And they have more coming this rounds. What happened? They go on Tobago. They fool the people. That is a fact, because you look and see what happened to Tobago. You ain't get office, you vex. You start to light up the chief secretary on social media videos, because you see they feel we stupid. It's real easy to hold up a phone and a camera and make video, you know. Some of them was making it in room and all kind of thing. They have one there, 2 pull, 3 pull, however much pull. He love a video. But we must not be taken for fools. And PNM family, remember what they did. So they mash up Tobago. They mash up the party. All of a sudden, you win as one party. Halfway in between, one man throughout everybody out the party. And now you want to come in Port of Spain and play you could take over Port of Spain. What's the answer to them tonight? Roxo! Roxo! So you mash up party, you mash up Tobago. We see the chaos taking place in Tobago now. So you feel you could swim across here, and all of a sudden you move from handing out bread and you reach with ice cream. People of Port of Spain, PNM family, we have to be better than that. Every election time, they come around with jersey with money in it. Now it's ice cream, it's bread. We are not a hungry people. So I want to tell you now what your PNM has been doing for you all in the last 8 years, if you forget. I look right here in the Harpe, and you heard Clint talk about it. I was happy to see this week the progress we've made on the court in the back. I was happy a few years ago when a corporate citizen came and said, what can we do for Port of Spain? We put down that children's play park there and one in our Wildlands. I was happy when Abina put down one in Shafford Court. I am always happy when we see progress. I am happy when our people get work to look after your own communities. And it is a PNM government that does that. If it is one thing that we could probably be accused of, is working hard and not blowing our own trumpet. And one thing I'm proud about with the PNM is we don't tell lies. So you can look around in your community and see what it is that has been done for you. You can look around in your community and remember when it was difficult and times were hard and COVID. Remember how many devices we managed to get and give to our children. We managed to get all of your counselors here trying to help in the young communities. I recall all of the instances, and you will as well. So don't forget that now that times are hard. And you hear exactly as Hillen said, they have this way of coming around and trying to start discontent and pulling on your heartstrings. But underneath all of that, the message I wanted you all to get is remember what they really think of us. Remember how they really see us and our children. This is the first time a government, a PNM government, has a whole ministry to look after young people and national service, the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. And that is because we recognize that Dr. Eric Williams' dream that became more of a reality under PNM with things like GATE and free tertiary education is not for everyone. We recognize that some of our young men and women may not be academically inclined. So for the first time, you have a ministry dedicated to the programs. And it was a UNC government that dismantled all the youth camps. Because you know why? They see those programs as for PNM. They see those programs in a certain color and hue. So we are making sure those programs start back up. But more than that, we recognize, and it happened right here in the Harpe, when we started hydroponics and the fish in the back. All you remember that? And right up the road there in Barcelona Street, when we found the empty lot and we started to do the gardening, those are the things that that Ministry of Youth is focusing on, because a PNM government that cares is recognizing that the opportunities have to be all over. We focus on the CCC and the MyLAT programs. So don't let them come and fool you and tell you that PNM forget you and PNM don't care about you. And you know what I find the most telling? As a leader, you have to rise above it all. As a leader, you have to be prepared to take pressure and you have to listen to the people and you don't react. All kind of thing will be said about you as a leader. As a PNM leader, they just attack me left, right, center. They have no corruption, they have no nothing on me. So they start to call names, start to attack family members with no merit. But you don't see me running out every single time like them and issuing petty statements. Every single time, they have a few of them. It is always a little petty, infertile, immature statement. Look at those things. When they held office, and every time on Facebook or somewhere somebody says something about them, they think they had to get down in your DMs and respond. Attack this one, and this one color here, and that one, and all these types of things. Those are not leaders. Because you see, you have to recognize no matter how difficult it is. And that is why I am walking all over the country as your chairman of the party, to get an understanding and to let the people know we are hearing you. We will not steal money. We will not thief and then pretend we're giving it to people. We will do the difficult things, but we will make sure they have a future for the little children. So PNM family, this is a serious, serious thing. And traditionally, for a local government election, as you heard Hillen say, 7 out of 10 people are voting. And people saying, I am voting, this is an election, etc. Well, all you listen to the old people in the community and listen to the people who know. And on August 14, make sure we come out and we vote. Because you see, we have to send a signal of the importance and what we appreciate in our communities. And Port of Spain, you all right here know the difficulties. And I want you all, the next time they come around, taking us for fools. I see a video the other day, Miss Beryl, sitting down singing to you. And it wasn't even your birthday. I reach up by you this week, you tell me all kind of choice words you give to him. And that is what we need to let them know. We ain't stupid. And you have to treat us with respect. Because we are a PNM people. And Eric Williams is the one who set the foundation for this country. And we ain't going to forget it. So remind yourself, in 2010 to 2015, they ain't do a damn thing for any one of our constituencies. They ain't do nothing for St. Port of Spain. You heard Hillen talk about 2013 in PNM Council, how they were starved, they were punished. So don't take God out of your thoughts. And people, It's been a long enough meeting for tonight. And we have 2 weeks left to go. And I am calling upon all of y'all in Port of Spain North, Port of Spain South, in Diego Martin, in Tunapuna, in St. Augustine, in Dabadi O'Meara, Lupino Bonaire, in Arima, Sandy Grandi, Camuto Manzanilla, Mayaro, all over the country, Point Fortin, Labre, Separia, Pinal Debe, Cuva Tabakit, Chagonas, all over the country. We have to come out in San Fernando. I hear they're trying to trick you all in San Fernando. They're trying to get you all complacent. Don't take that on. Not for a hops bread and a tub of ice cream. We're not stupid. So on the 14th of August, let the machinery work. And let us come out in our numbers. And let us show the country that we will continue to put in office these 12 younger people here tonight in our Port of Spain Corporation. I don't want a single alderman there who is not from the PNM. And that counting on all your votes. So on the 14th of August, we will come out all over Trinidad and we will tell the country once again, thankfully policy has remained and great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall and we have prevailed. On the 14th of August, onwards to victory, but we have to vote them on. So come out on the 14th for these 12 young people here. Great is the PNM.